On the evening of July 16, 1999, John F. Kennedy Jr. took off from Essex County Airport in a single-engine Piper Saratoga. He was accompanied by his wife Carolyn and her sister Lauren Bessette. The trio were headed to Martha's Vineyard and afterward to a wedding at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, but unfortunately they never arrived. This is an account of the monumental effort made by a host of government agencies to recover a small aircraft and the remains of its passengers from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
Just to recap, a wide-ranging search is underway this morning. The Air Force, the Coast Guard, the FAA, actually the Air National Guard, the Coast Guard, and the FAA are all involved in searching for John F. Kennedy Jr.'s single-engine airplane.
The alarm was sounded at 2 o'clock in the morning when a Kennedy family friend called the U.S. Coast Guard. The caller told the night duty officers that Kennedy's single-engine plane hadn't arrived at Martha's Vineyard as planned. The FAA immediately began the laborious process of calling to see if anyone, anywhere, in the air, in an air traffic control tower, or on the ground at any of a dozen small airports in the area, had seen Kennedy's missing aircraft. 2 hours later, that painstaking process paid off when investigators located a recorded radar track from another aircraft that had flown behind the Kennedys. That radar track began with Kennedy's aircraft flying level at 5,600 feet, then descending until it disappeared from radar 17 miles southwest of Martha's Vineyard. By the time the sun came up on Saturday morning, the search for the missing aircraft had blossomed into a full-scale military operation with more than 30 boats, helicopters, and aircraft. The largest, a U.S. Air Force HC-130, was performing in its role as a flying command post. This specially modified aircraft had a powerful search radar with a 300-mile range and a highly trained search and rescue coordinator who would oversee every aspect of the multi-agency search. On Saturday afternoon, as the massive search continued, a tourist found a piece of luggage floating in the shallow water off Philbin Beach. The black bag had a business card attached to it that identified it as belonging to Lauren Bessette. Major television networks immediately suspended their Saturday afternoon programming, and Americans once again found themselves immersed in a horrifying story involving the Kennedy family. John, the sweet young man who stole America's heart when he saluted the casket that contained the body of his father, President John F. Kennedy, was now presumed dead.
They point the nose. Typically, we try to point the nose into the wind.
24 hours later, the search and rescue mission was scaled back, and the operation shifted from being search and rescue to search and recovery, meaning that no one was expected to be found alive. And then the President of the United States stepped in. After a dramatic entrance by helicopter, President Bill Clinton made a passionate speech about the search that he had personally authorized for the Kennedy's aircraft. The President's integrity had suffered tremendously after admitting his affair with Monica Lewinsky, and he was in desperate need of a public relations win.
I want to express our family's support and offer our prayers and those of all Americans for John Kennedy Jr., his wife Carolyn, her sister Lauren, and to their fine families. I also want to thank the Coast Guard and all those who have worked so hard in this endeavor.
The Coast Guard asked the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to divert 2 of its specialized ships, the Rudy and the Whiting, to assist in the search for JFK Jr.'s missing aircraft. The Rudy was equipped with some of the most technically advanced hydrographic and navigation equipment available. 3 years earlier, the Rudy had found the wreckage of TWA Flight 800 off the coast of New York. It had found the Bow Mariner wreckage off the coast of Virginia, and it discovered uncharted wreckage lying dangerously close to the shipping lane leading into New York's harbor. On Monday, July 19th, the Rudy's side-scan sonar picked up a collection of metal objects spread out over the seafloor. Hours later, the U.S. Navy salvage ship Grasp arrived on site, and with the use of a remote-controlled underwater vehicle, it identified one of those objects as the fuselage from Kennedy's Piper Saratoga. Divers found the body of John F. Kennedy Jr. in the forward cockpit area, and the bodies of the Bessette sisters were found a short distance away. The bodies of the 3 victims were recovered by U.S. Navy divers and were transported directly to the medical examiner's office by motorcade. Autopsies determined that the victims had died instantly upon impact, and afterwards the bodies were taken to the Mayflower Cemetery for cremation.